Hey, welcome everybody. Brother Goodwin here and Dr. Charles Hilton here at Prophecy in the Spotlight, where we take the Bible and we shine the light on prophecy. And today our subject is going to be the world groaneth. Or I guess we could say the whole world groaneth. And it does. Let me read a verse to get us started here. Romans 8:21 through 23. I'm going to read that for you. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption and into the glorious liberty of the children of God. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. And not only they, but also ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. What he's talking about, Doc, is our spirit, our body, the world itself is all groaning, waiting on this change that's
looking
coming.
For redemption's fulfillment.
Yeah.
I mean, we entered redemption when we received Christ as our Savior. We were born again. But our full redemption will not come until we are present with the Lord in Revelation chapter 4 and 5.
And the body has not yet been redeemed.
No. And we're still, even though we're free from sin, we're still living in the presence of sin.
Yeah.
We're looking for that deliverance.
And we still sin because we're in it's the
we
flesh.
Still have a battle between the old man. And so your title today, The World Groaneth, you look at humanity and look at people. I mean, everywhere you cannot help but see what's happening with people. And then look at what's happening with governments. And you probably in Revelation or in Matthew chapter 24, the passages concerning the wars and the rumors of wars.
Well, let me read that because I know you got some in Luke, and we're gonna talk about today, in the short time we have in these radio programs, the world groaning. And man, there's stuff going on around the world like we've never seen before. And we'll get to that in just a second. Matthew chapter 24, I'd like to read a whole passage, but I'm not going to. Talks about rumors of wars in verse 6 here. But verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation. And we're seeing that every day. And kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences. But then he goes on to earthquakes in diverse places. These are the beginning of sorrows. And I take the beginning of sorrows to mean before the rapture, before the tribulation, these things that lead up to the end time.
The beginnings. And when you go to Luke, he records the same thing. He said in Luke 21:9, he said, when you shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. So I think these are things that we're watching kind of like a preliminary events of the major events that's getting ready to come.
Yeah.
And in Luke, he goes on to say, and then he said, and the nation will rise against a kingdom against kingdom, great earthquakes. He begins here with great earthquakes, shall be in diverse places, famines, pestilence, and fearful sights, and signs there will be in heavens. And so I always like to read out of Luke. Matthew is basically, his writing is to the Jews, and all of it, they're very similar. And so in Luke, he talks about some things, and he said great earthquakes. She's got a little slide that we can put up.
And before we do that,
let's
explain something real quick here. When man fell in the garden, Adam and Eve, and they're both guilty, God puts the guilt on the man, though.
That's right.
He's the seed comes from the man, and he's the father of everybody. So through the bloodline.
Right.
But that's not all that happened. Satan was cursed.
Yes.
The serpent.
That's right.
The earth was also cursed.
Yes.
And that's what we're talking about here. The earth is groaning.
It's looking for its day of deliverance.
And it's going to be delivered just like my body's going to be delivered at the rapture. My spirit was delivered the moment in July 4th, 1981, when I trusted Christ.
Yes.
My spirit was reborn. My flesh will be delivered, redeemed at the rapture.
Because at resurrection, we will be changed from mortal into immortality.
And my body will be resurrected, a glorified body,
Yes.
as well as the bodies of all the saints. But the earth is also going to be redeemed, but not at the rapture, but during the tribulation.
It's looking for two major changes that's coming for planet Earth.
Isn't that part of the 70th week, the purpose of the 70 weeks? The first 3 were fulfilled at his first coming.
Yes.
The second 3 are fulfilled at his second coming.
In relationship with his second
And
coming.
isn't part of that the reforming and redemption of the planet?
Yes.
Here?
The earth is going to have a redemption. And I'm writing the booklet now on the restored earth for the millennial reign, because that's what this passage is looking for here.
Yeah.
In reference to the second coming of the Lord. So we're seeing these signs, the things of the nations and the commotions that are around us. Almost every nation in the world has got some of this stuff going on. And but we're seeing some major things. If she'll put that slide up, we just recently, earlier this week, a couple of 3 days ago, that major earthquake.
8.7.
8.7. Some say it was 8.8. The thing about it, in the Richter scale, that's how this is numbered. Every point is double everything that's before it.
Wow.
So if you have a 6, and then you have a 6.1, you've doubled it, and a 6.2, you've doubled it. When you get to an 8.7 or 8.8, 9 is about, if I remember right, 9 or 9.1 has only been the greatest ever recorded. This one the other day, 8.7, 8.8, was, I think they said, the third or the fourth strongest earthquake recorded in the last 120 years. And, of course, the tsunami that came from that. But the slide that you're looking at is what's called the Ring of Fire. And this circles all the way around the Pacific Ocean. And our purpose at the moment is not to get too deep into science, but you can almost see that what has happened to original Earth is a separation. Inside that ring of fire, if you can see on your TV, you can see that blue line that's all the way around it. Those are called the rifts, or those are the trenches, where some of those are so deep they really only estimate how deep that water goes. And if you could imagine pulling all of that red together from the right to the left and pulling those continents together, you kind of get an idea that at one time the earth was a Pangea. It was an interconnected body rather than divided as it is in our world today. The Bible tells us there's a time coming whenever the earth is groaning, awaiting its day of redemption right along with us. I think what we're seeing a great increase in all of the earthquakes and all of the interconnected volcanoes that's connected with the Ring of Fire. We're watching this becoming much more active, because the Bible says that in Revelation chapter 16, the final vial of wrath that ends the tribulation is an earthquake greater than the world has ever seen, and it's going to put the world back together for the millennial reign of Christ.
Now, would I be off track with this statement? The groaning of the earth in the last days, and the growing of it, and the more severity of it that we're seeing, isn't it similar to our signs of the times that get more close the closer
exactly.
you get? Yeah.
Exactly. Because in Luke, he talks about earthquakes, famines, pestilence, and sights in the heavens. In other words, you're going to see an increase of seismic activity, and you're going to see an increase of cosmic activity.
Yeah.
Here in the month of July, today, the last day of July, we have experienced two major events in the stellar heavens, a meteor shower that everybody could see, asteroids that was able to be seen, witnessed, and then yesterday, the moon coming between the Earth and Mars and lighting it up as a red background. We're watching things on the Earth, things under the Earth, and things above the Earth. And as some say, this is telling us that we're at another step in the end time process, because it's like the birth pains.
Yeah.
You know, there's phases in the birth pains that ladies go through in giving birth. And we are maybe entering into another, closer to the final days of activity, because we're seeing things on a world scale like we've never seen before.
In my prophecy puzzle book, one of my parts of the book is 4 categories of prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
There's prophecy that pertains to Israel.
Yes.
There's prophecy that concerns the church.
Mm-hmm.
There's prophecy that concerns the wicked people of the earth.
Absolutely.
You know, 1 Timothy 3,
Yes.
perilous times.
Yeah.
Then there's prophecy. The 4th one is what we're talking about today, nature, the earth,
Yes.
weather, earthquakes, and
Creation
all that.
itself.
Yeah.
The physical creation.
That's what we're talking about here.
Yes.
Now look, let's go to the flood that happened in Texas.
Yes.
First thing I thought when I heard about that, 26 feet, unbelievable. First thing I thought of was, that's probably what it was like in Noah's day. Something like that, only
Very similar.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Well, in Noah's day, that was a flash flood of, I forget how many inches per hour, but it was an astronomical number. And I lived in that part of Texas for several years, and I can tell you, I've watched those dry streams become torrential rivers in a matter of a few hours.
Yeah.
But the flood itself was not only the fountains of the deep that came up, but by the end of 40 days, it's still 5 months, 150 days of the waters of the canopy above that's coming down. That's why our world today is larger than it was in original creation. That's what's changed our spin. That's why we don't have a full 24-hour day. And the earth is groaning, and the closer you get to the moments of redemption finalized, it's going to be brought back together again. The saints are going to be out of here. The tribulation, I'm telling you, we're getting close to these things.
And eventually it's coming to that last plague of...
That's right, that last
where the
final
world's
wrath.
going to be redone and Jesus is going to come and rule from Jerusalem.
Do you think Jesus created an original creation and put man in his image to have dominion over it, and then he's going to come back and be the man God, the God-man Jesus, and he's going to rule over a ruined world?
Yeah.
No, he's going to bring it back to reconstitution.
Yep. All right, folks, give that a read. Romans chapter 8, verses 21 through 23, and Matthew 24, the beginning there, Luke 21, verses 9 through 11. Give those verses a read here later when you get a chance. Think about what's going on in the world. The earthquakes are more and more all the time. The ring of fire is literally on fire with all this. So the Lord's coming soon. You better be ready. We'll see you next time. Until then, keep your eyes on them skies.